Welcome to Nova's third round of fire trials, and this is their first one. Now, I can't actually see the moment where Nova gets away from you. I'm guessing this is the moment where she slips out of the collar, as Bob Ross would call that, a little happy accident there. But what I really like is that whilst Nova is very much over-aroused and having a hard time thinking in that over-aroused state because she's so motivated, we see this gradual clarity coming through, like here when she comes back and actually sniffs the scent article, which is exactly what we want. Learning through self-discovery to have interest in the article is always going to be more powerful than having the dog where we shove the article in their face or have them drop over the article. Those methods are really not very effective at getting the dog to be interested and seek out human contact odor and taking odor with great interest and motivation. Those other methodologies you'll typically find will reduce motivation, which is not what we're trying to do right now. Now, throughout this fire trial, there's a number of really interesting things that happen. So, first of all, she's running around like crazy because, again, she's over-aroused, which is fine. This is why I like working off-leash in these very early stages so that the dog can figure out for itself how to solve these problems, how to make life easier for itself without us introducing all the problems that happen once we put a leash on the dog. We really want to have all these sorts of kinks ironed out before we start putting a leash on and start running through the bush with our dog and causing snags and so on and so forth. That great joyful stuff will happen a little bit further down the road. You'll also notice that Nova is progressively becoming less and less inclined to come in and check in with you. While she does so here for a little bit, and again I've sped up the footage so it doesn't seem that long, really, really loving your patience and no movement, saying nothing to her, giving her nothing is such a powerful learning experience for Nova at the moment so that she understands that, hey, this is tracking and I've got to figure out this all on my own. My handler is not going to save the day for me. So that's really, really fantastic discipline, and I know it takes a lot to stand there and do nothing in moments like that. Now, what happens here, and why I've zoomed in on it, is you can actually see the moment where Nova picks up on the scent pool of the track layer. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the wind, I'm pretty sure, is blowing right to left across the direction of the track. And it is this blown odor that is coming off the track layer that has caused Nova to hit the odor pool and then follow the odor out, and then she's run out of odor. And when she's run out of odor, she's come back to you up here again. This is really, really cool stuff. This really exemplifies a significant reason why we train off-leash, and also why we always train with a human at the end of the track, despite the fact that that can sometimes be difficult to find people to go sit out in the bush for us. The reason being that dogs that have been trained all the time with humans in the track get very, very good at solving that odor pool problem at the end of the track. This is something that messes up a lot of dogs. I've seen dogs track for kilometers and then hit the odor pool and then make significant missteps, run out of odor, and that's ruined the track, despite the fact that they've basically footstepped someone over miles. So that is something really, really cool that happens here with Nova. So this is a really, really amazing learning experience for her to hit the odor pool, run out of it, and then come back to the track. Dogs that understand how to bring themselves back to work are really, really good. So this is really exciting stuff. Now here as well, she's hit the odor pool, she's come back in, she's tried hunting to solve the problem, but she's just also sort of hit her limit with, a bit of heat, and she's having a bit of a hard time solving the problem. So she's come in hot, looking to solve the problem. Now, also too, no need to throw the article on the ground a second time or anything like that. Sure, it's very difficult in these moments where the dog's just sitting at you and they're tantalizingly close to the track layer. But yeah, you've done the right thing here. And also too, I didn't mind that you took just a couple of steps just to sort of kickstart her a little bit, because then she solves the problem immediately. She's had a little rest and then she finds the track layer. So really beautiful, well-deserved win for Nova on that one. This is a beautiful fire trail that you guys have done here. Now, just because I'm a nitpicky person and that's what I get paid to do, that article I would have brought it maybe a couple more meters closer to Nova, and that would have been basically perfect. But overall, this is a really nice little fire trail, and I'll cover off more after the next fire trail. But what I see in this one basically tells me that we are ready to start adding in corners. The terrain here is perfect. There's long grass, nice and even all the way through. Nothing too thick that's immobilizing for the dog. This is just easy, beautiful terrain for the dog to learn in, and as you can see, Nova just absolutely annihilates this fire trail and tracks right up to your track layout just with absolute precision and perfection. The beauty about this terrain is that, it's unless they smell them, they're really very unlikely to run on top of them. It can happen, but not in this case. This is beautiful. Really nice distance too for this level of fire trails that we're at. This is just maintained. This is beautiful work. Looking forward to watching the next fire trail. Well done. Fire trail number 9 with Nova. So again, the track layer with the article is a little bit further away than what I would like, but what is really cool, and I might fast forward a little bit straight to it here in a second, is that Nova runs out, but then runs back in to have a little inspection of the scent article. That is honestly about as perfect as it gets, because when they learn through self-discovery, I don't know how to say it any better than this, the lesson is learned better. It becomes much more profound and interesting and motivating for the dog to show interest and discover these items that are out there, particularly that are covered in contact odor, because where our hands touch are extremely significant amounts of odor for the dog to take up on, and it is very interesting for the dog. So really, really nice work by Nova. As we're about to see, she's going to run out, she's going to come back, she's going to check it, and then she's going to go forward again. A good thing to remember is dogs only need barely a second to take odor from a scent article. They don't need to sniff it for very long. They don't need to shove their noses right into it. It can literally look like the dog running over the top of the article. And as you saw there with Nova, she sniffed it for a moment and then she was off. It was beautiful work. Now, the rest of the video is a lovely video of us walking through the grass, which I'm very happy with, because I can tell from this terrain and also the distance that the track layer is at, this is a 100% big win for Nova. This length of fire trail I'm actually really impressed with. Really, really good work by your track layer, going so far so quickly through this thick terrain. That's no small feat. And Nova clearly does an outstanding job of working through this wonderful productive source of odor to find the track layer. Now, just point to note at the end, and I'm sure you probably did this anyway, once Nova's found the track layer, feel free to praise her up and make sure you move as fast as you can without hurting yourself, obviously, up to the track layer, and make sure it's a big party at where the track layer is, just so that it becomes more of a reinforcer for her to be finding the track layer. That's the source of the good time and so on. So there's nothing wrong with what you've done here, where you praise her up as you move up to the track layer, but make sure in vicinity of the track layer is where the big party really goes down. Really, really nice work, really fantastic terrain, and we're seeing the results. A terrain like this with the dog with the right motivation, as we've found in Nova, yields really fantastic results, which is what we're seeing consistently now. Okay, so what is next for Nova's next round of fire trails? Now, because Nova's ticking several really important boxes, she's working some productive sources of odor, which is to say that she's working through the long grass and she's picking up on where the odor is in contact with the grass, which is just the easiest way for the dog to identify, oh, hey, I can find odor here. Brilliant. She's highly motivated and she's dedicated and she doesn't quit. These attributes enable us to step up to the next little iteration. So the next series, what I want to see happen is do a fire trail just like your last one that you did there. That distance was great. That terrain was perfect. You could have had the scent article a couple meters closer, but overall that was a perfect repetition. So do the first one just like that. Then the next two, I want to have a corner. Now, what do I mean by that? So same thing, have the straight line, have the track layer go out in a straight line, a similar distance to that first one, but then I want them to turn 90 degrees left or right and go a short distance, 10, 20 meters initially, and we'll build this up quickly, and then lay down just as usual. Now, the trick with this is I need you to now be attuned with your environment, with the wind. So we want the wind to be at the corner, at the dog's back. So if you're going in a straight line and the wind is blowing the odor from right across the path to the left, you want the corner to turn left. You want the wind behind the dog so they don't get what you'd call an easy wind scent. If you, in that scenario, had a right turn, the dog could just run forward and then they would get the odor of the track layer blowing in their face, and they would just run and follow the odor into them. Now, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but it's not teaching the lesson we want to teach. We want to teach them to be accurate on corners and to follow the productive source of odor to find the track layer. So don't give them an easy wind scent. Give them a harder one with the turns being with the wind behind the dog so that they have to track right up to the track layer without getting that easy air scent. Let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to seeing the next round of fire trails.